What's up, guys? It's your boy Mariah, aka King Remy, with another episode. And tonight we're gonna be talking about protecting your energy. That's what we on tonight. We on protecting your energy. So, I'll give you a little bit of the gist before I get in. I'm getting this shit a little more mapped out. Um, Protecting your energies, you know what I'm saying? I feel like these are things that are essential to like growth. You know what I'm saying? Knowing if shit's kind of like a certain way for you in life, knowing these type of things can change the narrative for you, changing the situations, like protecting your energies, you know, uh, self-awareness, recognizing what drains you, setting boundaries. When setting boundaries, understand personal space. Know when to say no to certain things, certain commitments. Know when to say no to stuff to protect your energy. It's just all about keeping yourself in a smooth situation. What you putting out in life coming back to you. I keep saying I have to stop saying that so much. Setting personal boundaries, learning to say no to the things that overwhelm you, and protecting your time and energy. These are the things that you should do. These are things that I feel are essential when it comes to protecting your energy. And the whole purpose of this is, to change your narrative. It's mental growth. That's the whole purpose of any of this, is protecting your energy and the what you dish out coming back to you. You that's what you want. Healthy friendships, healthy relationships. Healthy relationships is something that you want to have, with friends and partners. You know what I'm saying? You want to spend time with supportive and uplifting type of people. You don't want to be around people that bring you down and want to halt the progress of whatever you got going on. You want people around that uplift it and make things better. You have to also communicate openly. Learn how to express what's holding you back or what's draining you in any friendship or relationship with people. You have to communicate these things. You can't just have this thought in your head. I always tell, people like me and my baby sometimes, I be big on people having that conversation in their head with that version of you that they think they know. They'll be like, everybody's guilty of it. We'll have like a situation and we'll run it in our head past, like we running it past them. Like, I wonder what she'll do. Nah, she'll probably, or nah, he'll probably say this. That's incorrect. That's a conversation that you're having with yourself and you're answering it. You can't base that off of fact as if we had an actual conversation and that's the answer that I gave you. That's just only your brain interpreting your version of me and what I might say. But you can't move as if I did say that. You have to ask me the question. These are things we have to be aware of, protecting that energy and understanding what we're projecting. Another thing is creating a positive space. You can tell, like, people don't understand that you can tell what's going on in someone's life when you come around and they invite you over or whatever and all that. You can tell what's going on. And it's just no jabs at nobody, but you could tell what's going on by the level of organization that they have in their homes. You go over somebody's house like a hoarder, you will see a bunch of stuff unorganized. You will see boxes and boxes of stuff. You see stuff everywhere on the floor, didn't get cleaned up and all this. And then you got, say for instance, like the Chinese, on the other hand, where they practice feng shui. And you see their houses and the way that they live, it's immaculate, clean, nice, neat, and all of that, and then you see the lifestyle, the quality of life amongst their culture. Their children are amongst the top in any category as far as education is concerned. In any category as far as education is concerned, they the top. It's the fastest internet, technology and everything. It's a lot of stuff, but it also comes from the quality of life. When you enjoy some of the things that you're doing, you put more effort into it. You put more into it. But when you kind of like, it's kind of like, over here in our country, just the way that things are shaping up, it's kind of like everything's forced. So you have a lot of people that are upset and angry. You have people coming back, doing mass shootings at jobs and all this type of stuff. The stress is high, patience is short. So stuff like that. If you feel me, learning to understand your environment, making your environment the way that it is or the way that you want it. You know, like for instance, me, I got OCD. You know, I clean, clean, clean. I organize. I can tell you where almost everything's at. Besides little shit, you know, everybody loses stuff. But as far as like how I like to do things, and you know, the grass keeping cut, you know, tending to the dog, like routine. You know what I'm saying? These are things that I do to protect my energy. You know, so I can say for sure that the environment plays a major role. The environment you create, like not a whole lot of homies with on frivolous activities, hanging out, drinking, ripping and running, all of that. Just the environment you create. Period. Your foundation. Know what's causing the stress. You know what I'm saying? Is it friends, family, your job, and is it you? Is it you? Have self awareness. Understand these things. Assess the situation, losses and gains, pros and cons. When you're going into any dealings with anybody, like, what's the point of this? What do I intend to accomplish from this situation? Don't just be, y'all know what I think are real. You know what I'm saying? I've realized everybody ain't loyal because people would want you to commit to crashing out just to be their friend. You don't care about me. You don't support me or whatever. When they on a path of crashing out, they don't listen to nothing you trying to say. You know, and that's big. Learning that we don't have the motion we think we have, and people coming around that may be able to offer something like Miss Levy. Shout out Tony Levy. She taught me something. She said, "You never know who's going to be your cash cow," and it's not in a financial sense of what I'm speaking, like as in cash, but I'm saying as far as like your workhorse. What's gonna help you get to the next level? Who's going to be that person to commit to your team? Like every job has somebody that they put as a supervisor, and then they got some guys that they put on the line. It's a reason why this guy's a supervisor. It's a reason why this guy's on the line, because they feel that this guy may represent more leadership or whatever the case may be. You know, so you have to understand this in the situation that you're going into. You have to know which one are you. Are you a supervisor type, or are you the on the line type? You have to understand these going into a situation. Yeah, you don't know what's going to be your workhorse. You don't know. And you have to try to save and salvage friendships along the way until you're in a position to be able to get or pay for those that you need to be a workhorse or to be your cash cow. You know, what I surmised from what she said, you know what I'm saying, was that during my run and my situation that was going on with my music, like how I was falling out with people, and I would assess like, you know, if I thought she was worth something, I would have tried to salvage the friendship and I would cut people off. But she told me, she said, how do you know what they worth? How do you know what idea that they may come up with or whatever that they can contribute to the team that would take you to another level? Because what are you giving them for the effort they're giving you? And I was like, wow, it's powerful, because George and all of them that I was doing music with at the time, they was doing everything on the strength. The only one that was really paying for something was Steve. You know what I'm saying? So, and I mean, he was committed. These are things that I didn't think about at the time of what I had going on. But these are facts. These are things that changed the whole situation because I was unaware of it. I didn't assess the situation. I didn't think about the loss and gain, the pros and cons of my situation. You know, let me find the perfect way to put this. I didn't understand my value, or I didn't understand the value of, you know, my friends in that situation. I didn't know who was what, but I felt that I did know. I knew who my cash cow was, and you don't know that. And then when it comes to some of these friendships that we be trying to mend, and you don't know who's your cash cow and falling out with people. You got to ask yourself, is it worth salvaging? Is some of these friendships and some of these partners that we be around and the things that we spend time on, is it worth salvaging? You know, when things go awry and y'all fall out or whatever the case may be, is it worth salvaging? Is it worth mending it to go back through whatever it may be? Because I mean, it might not have really been. It might have been a one-sided friendship in the first place to begin with. Is that worth salvaging? If you can sit and think about the times somebody add you stress, like I got a homeboy that tells me a situation. He gives me XYZ of a situation over here due to a choice of him making to pursue a better situation for himself. And, you know, I just told him straight up, this is something I firmly stand on. When you ask for a change, you're going to get that change. God's going to grant you that change. And I want y'all to know this first and foremost. I'm not no religious dude. I believe in nobody's books. I don't believe in no prophets. I don't believe in none of that. I don't go to religion. I just believe in God. I believe that the energy you put out is what you're going to reciprocate. The person that you are, you're going to be judged for that. I believe that there is a creator of life. But the way that man is and the way that these books contradict everything that's on earth, there's no way that I, as a conscious man, and the things that I have learned, could believe in any book. With that being said, I choose to create my own positive environments. I choose to create my own situations. You know, you gotta learn to take accountability. You know, what was your role in whatever the situation was? And did you play your role well? Did you do your role to the fullest? You know, not understanding how to control your cipher or recognizing what drains you. These are things that you should be thinking about and consciously trying to focus on. You know what I'm saying? To make a difference in your situation. We have to understand this simple thing sometimes. When we ask for a change, we be stuck in two situations. We'll get the change that we asking for, and then we'll have a situation that we're comfortable in. And we'll hold on to that comfortable situation in this new situation that we in that seems like this is where we should be. We would be reluctant to jump into it because we're comfortable over here. Not realizing that we asked for a change and we got it. It's just that we ain't let go of this toxic or stressful or setback type situation that's holding us back because we're comfortable there. We don't understand that if you let go of that comfort zone, you'll create a new one in the different situation. I'll use me for an example. I was reluctant on trying to open up and get in new situations and all that. I was just solely focused on trying to do it this way and go about it this way until a situation happened and somebody said something to me to where I took a different approach. And that different approach is what led to me sitting in front of this camera having conversations, having a son, having a woman that loves me and cares genuinely, that actually gives a fuck about what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, that does things to try to help the narrative, not just, say for instance, on a birthday or Father's Day, not just give you a card. It does something that you ain't never expected. If it's, you know, street shit in some relationships, we don't think about the simple things like some of us dudes out here hustling all this with these fast women and shit. You know, we don't understand small things like it's not our job to go pick out dinner tables and shit like that. That's the woman's job. You know what I'm saying? Like, the decor and decking things. It's some dudes might have that in them, but if you hustling, you can't be the mind for everything. Setting up days for y'all to go take pictures and everything. That's the woman. but you be held responsible for it when there is none of that. You know, like a lot of families just get food and go to their rooms and stuff and eat. Everybody don't sit down at a dinner table, and they should. But the way that I was raised in multiple homes, that's a normal. Just getting food and going to your room, whatever it is. They cook for you. You just go eat it in your room, whatever. So you can't be afraid to jump into the change that you asked for. You gotta understand venting and doing something about it. When you and your partner, for instance, get into an argument and you sitting talking shit about your partner to somebody, you don't realize how it makes you look when y'all make up. So are you venting or are you speaking on the situation as to do something about it? And then if you only venting, you should be conscious of the way you talk about your partner, because maybe that's the problem with how you so quick to involve like social media or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it might be in those situations. It's just like, I know social media ruins a lot of shit in relationships because some people care for perspectives that are unreal. But that's a whole nother episode. You have to learn to embrace the change that you ask for to protect the energy that you seeking. You have to learn to roll with the new situation, but be on the same shit that you was on when you made that last situation comfortable. Don't just come into it all willy-nilly, freely, not trying to make it work, whatever the fuck it is. Like, actually try. Give it the same effort that you gave the last situation to become comfortable. Us as a culture, especially black folks, we have to stop pledging loyalty to an oppressed mindset, like feeling like you owe somebody something because he's your friend, he's real. You real to the end. Like, that's my dog, whether he right or wrong. What if that wrong is something that sets both of y'all back and you still ride with him? It's a situation that happened with these two young girls getting murdered, and then the dude killed himself or whatever. And it's a bunch of mixed emotion because you got people playing both sides trying to give grievance to him and her. He killed her. You can't be his friend and her friend. If you are both of their friends, the best thing to do in that situation is to not say shit, you know? And we don't understand when we pledge a loyalty to oppressed mindsets, trying to bring people along with whatever journeys we embark on, regardless if they may hold us back or not, whatever setbacks they may bring to the team or whatever it is. You don't care because that's your dog. You gonna ride with them to the end. Not like, okay, well then y'all gonna ride right off that bridge. It's so many ways that you can make steps to control your cipher, and always try to factor in that the energy you put out is what you're gonna get back. So protect your energy, protect your mindset, your life force, what's going on around you, and don't allow shit that other people going through affect you. Don't allow somebody else's loneliness affect the relationship that you have with your partner, and y'all healthy and loving and living life. Don't allow, because somebody else is lonely, it's starting to cause y'all to have arguments and things. Like, nah, like, that person that's alone or lonely don't understand that their inability to make compromise or living for expectations or what the next person may think about them is why they're in those situations of loneliness or multiple failed relationships. We have unrealistic values and we wonder why some of the situations end up the way they do for us, because we not aware of the energy we putting out. We putting out false narratives. We putting out bad energies, trying to please this person or be friends with this person, not realizing how much damage it may cause at home or this situation. We're not controlling our cipher. You have to protect your energy at all costs because that's what leads to the change in life, the change in quality of life. You have to embrace the change that you ask for. Just know sometimes helping people will bring you down. It's it's like in some of those movies that we see when you see somebody on the road or something, they be like, "Ah, help me, I need help," and then you pull over and then somebody jump out and they get you. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to understand that sometimes can happen in life. That's a real situation. So you have to be able to or engage with limits, should I say, and know that sometimes, man, people gonna be all right. You have to know that effect. You have to know the you be all right effect. Like people be placed in unfortunate situations. Say you get incarcerated, or you get placed in a rehab facility, or whatever it may be. You don't get those same amenities that you had every day. You get what they give you, and you conform to it. You accept it. You're not, what I'm saying, beating up whoever it is trying to get out of whatever the case may be. Some might be doing it, but a lot of us conform to it. That's how the 1% control the 99. You know what I'm saying? You have to end things that work against you to control your cipher, to protect your energy. Stuff that you feel ain't beneficial to you, you have to end these things. You have to be able to end it with confidence, knowing that you ended it because it was a setback. It was something that you didn't need. It was something that wasn't good for you. Know your value. Self worth is extreme in protecting your energy because if you don't realize what you bring to the table, you can be played short in so many different ways. You can be misled in so many ways if you don't realize your value. And that that's how, like, say for it's that's how a woman can be pimped because she don't realize her value. She don't realize what she brings to the table and how she can change the narrative with a choice. Like, nah, I'm gonna choose this type of dude, but she's choosing the life that she's choosing because of whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Not understanding her self value, not understanding the power of self or what she could potentially be able to do. Something that I'm always solid with rocking on is gut instinct. When you got that gut feeling, I'm gonna stress again, when you got that gut feeling, you gotta roll with it because that's a change in energy. That's a shift in energy, that's why you have that gut feeling. That's why it becomes a physical change that you feel like to where you have a gut feeling about something. It don't go from just it becomes more than just a thought. It becomes something that you start to feel like, oh no, I don't think about this. You have to roll with that because that's a change of energy. You can't go against that gut feeling. When you have a gut feeling, you have to roll with it because it's a change of energy. And I'll be trying to have conversations with my partners in some of the endeavors that I get into. When I have that gut feeling, it has me wanting to get out of situations because I just have a gut feeling that it ain't gonna work out. And if I do continue to be a part of whatever things are, I feel like it's gonna be a huge setback for me. Just even speaking this shit right here. But sometimes we can operate with a faith that we may be holding ourselves back. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't realize the value that we have, we might be feeling like we valueless in a situation where we're very valuable. So, you have to roll with that gut instinct. Manifest and project the type of energy that you want to receive. So with that being said, I ain't gonna hold y'all up. Y'all know how I do. I'm at the end of this episode, but I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope that this is becoming more, a little bit organized, and y'all rocking with me. But it's gonna continue to get together because now I'm starting to take notes and be serious about it. and get everything together because I want to be a resource for you. I want to teach y'all some shit. I want you to be able to catch some of these videos and learn, and it make you, a little bit sharper in your situation and make something better for you. Because I have been told that I have a conversation and I do present perspectives that sometimes we don't think about. And that's why I'm pursuing this. That's why I'm doing this, hoping that, it does something for me as well as you. So it's your boy Mariah, aka King Remy, and I'm out.